And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Hello and welcome in Tampa Bay. This is the Consumer Quarterback Show with your host, Brandon Rhymes. However, Brandon Rhymes is not in today. You've got your backup quarterback, James DeGerome, sitting in today. And we want to wish Brandon all the luck in the world. It's moving day for Brandon. So not the best day for everybody. Everyone knows moving is not the funnest thing. So hopefully he's going to have a good day out there. And we're going to keep you busy providing some information for you, as we always do here on the show. We're going to provide some knowledge and empower you as consumers. So joining me here for this intelligent talk show are some intelligent folks. We've got Kelly Oliver from Business Loan Solutions in the house. What's going on today, Kelly?
It's a good day for buying a business. If you haven't seen what's going on in the market and how things are changing hands all over the place.
Now, I come from this totally different perspective than Brandon in terms of business knowledge, so I'm going to need you to help I understand a little bit about the basics in terms of business acquisition.
Absolutely. We certainly will talk about that all day.
Scott Kepler. Scott comes to us he's a branch manager, Mortgage Loan Approval Group.
Mortgage Approval Group.
I'm sorry about that, Mortgage Approval Group. Mm-hmm. And just as Kelly is going to help me understanding business acquisition, we talked in the past, you and I have done some stuff about real estate and mortgage, and today I'm interested in refinance. How do we get to that? How do people handle that situation?
I think it's just all about evaluating what your goals are and looking at the value of your property and how much you owe and
when it makes sense,
your finances, and try to see if the numbers make sense.
Yeah, there's some timing and some numbers to crunch.
Absolutely.
Okay, and of course, our marketing expert, your girl Pauline, is in the house today. How are you doing, Paulina?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
And I know you know all about what's going on in Tampa Bay, so tell me, please.
Well, today I wanted to talk about how events can actually help you grow your business. Some strategic ways, but of course we're going to talk about the good stuff, which is the food behind it as well.
Right.
And I have a lot of fun pictures to share with you.
Wow, awesome. All right, so we got some great stuff for you, a great show planned. When it comes to business, what we're trying to do here is give you some knowledge that helps you out there as a consumer. So, Kelly, when it comes to business, and I look at businesses, if I was from out of state, and we had this conversation a little bit off air, and I was trying to figure out how I could fit into Tampa Bay or the Bay Area and acquire a business that's already up and running, how does that process even start? Help me through it.
Well, buying a business is a lot like buying a home. You have your own personal interests. You kind of know what location, you know where the schools you want your kids to go to. A business is very familiar. It's something that you maybe is your background and history. If you're let's say you're an entrepreneur and you've done really well in marketing and you want to now expand into buying a business that's already established, already existing, the things that you're going to be looking for is how solid is that business? What's the competition around the area? And is it in the target demographic that it is that you're looking for?
Now, Kelly, just let me interrupt you 1 second. If I was someone coming from the Northeast or Midwest and I was wanting to establish myself in Tampa Bay, do you see entrepreneurs who go outside their sphere of knowledge? In other words, I'm a restaurant guy in Chicago.
Yeah.
But when I come to Tampa Bay, there's a business that looks like a great setup for me, but it's not in the restaurant game. How often do you see someone actually try to change or reinvent themselves when they make that move?
They do. It's a little risky to do that, right? Because you're not as familiar. So, and I'm all about risk, right? I love taking on risk. So the way that you would handle that is partner yourself with someone who has that experience already, or someone that can lead you down that path. Pardon me.
So again, we talk about mentors a lot on the program. Finding someone who might have knowledge that you need or can assist you a little bit.
Yes.
And generally, you're a business person, so you can see that it's successful in terms of the numbers.
Right.
But how they get those numbers is the trick, the secret sauce.
Right. And you're doing the interview, right? There is an opportunity for you to sit down with the seller and ask them all kinds of questions about their business. They really do want to tell you their story because they're very prideful in their business.
Right.
They want to sell you on their business because they want to sell their business, right? So they're going to share with you all of their secrets and all of their stories and all of their things that made them successful. And then as the new entrepreneur, you're asking the questions of, you're thinking in your head, maybe if I would do it this way or make this change or that change. Sometimes the smallest tweak in a business can blow and explode a business, especially a restaurant type business or one where you're person to consumer, right? Business to consumer, because they latch on to something and it goes viral really quickly, and then people are in your shop and they're buying what you're selling. They're buying the food, the products, the services, whatever it is that you're selling. They're with you, and they will spread the word for you.
So past performance, a great indicator of future success.
Great indicator.
But your own abilities, you've got to kind of have a way to evaluate your own skills and abilities and what you bring to the table.
Absolutely. Well, I was just having this conversation today with someone who we've showed them 3 different businesses, and they're like, yeah, I'm not feeling comfortable about this. I'm not feeling, rather than saying, listen, the numbers aren't performing, we're going to give you an offer that is in alignment with the numbers.
Right.
And then we're going to take over and we're going to do X, Y, and Z. They're coming back and they're saying, yeah, I'm not feeling so good about the numbers. Well, but that's only one small portion of when you're really buying a business and what you're actually buying, right? You're buying your own services and what you can bring to the table,
and trying to project that.
Absolutely. And so when they're kind of wishy-washy about the numbers, about the past history, that's when you're really asking the questions, is this business really a business that's in trouble? Is it one that I have to do a complete renovation on, like you would renovate a house, right? A renovation on a business. And if you're not in that kind of strategy as far as what you're good as a turnaround person, you want something that's a little more stable or reliable, then you may say no. But I will tell you, some of the best opportunities are businesses that might be in a little shaky ground. And then you get in, you do some renovations, you right size the labor pool, you get the right people. Sometimes it's just about putting the right person in the right place.
Sure. Timing and everything.
Timing and everything.
This is similar in a way to Scott. We talked about refi and when it's appropriate or when you feel like it's right to pull the trigger, when's the rate change or whatever. It kind of evaluation where you're kind of feeling like this might be the time. The factors have to converge to make it the right time.
Absolutely. It just has to make sense for what your goals are.
But Kelly's trying to project future performance. We were trying to say, hey, when we get in here, if we apply ourselves, here's what we can expect.
Yeah.
How often do you find people that are realistic in that? It seems like most folks really think that they're going to do I come from coaching. So they always say, well, don't worry, I can fix that. As soon as I get my hands on that kid, I'll make him much better.
But just like your coaching, right? So you're confident in your coaching. Entrepreneurs that are in the businesses that they've been in for a long time, even if they're really passionate, maybe they haven't been in it for a long time, but they're so passionate about what they're doing, they will get in and they will find the right mentors, they'll find the right people, they'll find the right coaches, and it will turn their business around. I have seen, garage style ideas turn into multi-million-dollar businesses because they talked to the right people. They were so passionate about what they were doing. We were just talking about investors the other day, right? Investors invest in businesses not because of the business or the product and what it does, but because of the person and the passion behind it. And when you got passion in what you're doing and you're delivering a great service, people want that. That's where value gets created.
You're right.
And so they will come in and they will pay the money to do that.
Are there any, just off the top of your head, any specific percentages or numbers that you have to have this to be in the ballpark? I know you think you're going to do great guns when you get down there and take this business over, but let's just, as a guideline, let's say you can only expect performance to change at a certain percentage from the previous year. Is that correct or no? You tell me.
No, not so much. It is a personal thing. It is. I mean, certainly you're going to do an evaluation on your costs for acquisition for your customer.
Right.
And you would do that the same thing if you were looking at a pay-per-click for Facebook or you were doing ads in those ways. So sometimes it may cost you $16, $20 to get a new client that will come in the front door. You may pay that in advertising or marketing or sales. But at the end of the day, if they are coming in at 10 or 20 times the amount of money that you're investing in your marketing and advertising, getting people in your door, then
it's a win.
Who wouldn't want to do that?
Absolutely.
Right?
Kelly Oliver, Business Loan Solutions. Kelly, how can folks out there get in touch with you if they have an idea they want to flesh out a little bit.
Absolutely. They can give me a call at 813-452-5456. That's my direct line.
Okay.
Or they can go out to our website at www.blsfunds.com.
And you work out of state, people that want to come to Tampa, all over the place.
All over the place. We are domestic and international, mostly domestic, but we will do international deals as well. People who want to come into the Florida market, want to learn a little bit more about who we are and what we're doing, absolutely love to have a phone call with you.
Yeah, I can imagine you must get a lot of those feelers from outside the market trying to figure out how can I fit in there?
Yeah, well, especially in the winter when it's really cold up north. Everybody wants to come down. They're willing to do face-to-face conversations with me.
I got you. I bet they are.
Yeah.
What about we had talked about business in Tampa Bay in terms of how much is offered. I know Brandon talks about inventory a lot on the real estate side. Do you monitor inventory in terms of how many businesses are out there, or do you have a feel for how the market is in terms of what is available inventory-wise?
No, I don't keep track of businesses that way. Typically, people are coming to me. They've already worked with a business broker. They know which business it is that they want. And then we will do the funding for that business, whether it's an acquisition or a new startup. In fact, we've had this great range of new startup businesses, like these fantastic ideas that people are bringing to the marketplace. I'm so excited to be a part of what they're doing because these are revolutionary ideas.
Yeah, some of the new digital technologies and some of the technologies out there are allowing people to do crazy things and start businesses from home and really do some wild stuff.
Amazing what they're doing.
Kelly Oliver, Business Loan Solutions. Don't hesitate if you have an idea out there, you want to find out if it's for you or maybe you can do this idea. Call Kelly. Let's see if she can get it done.
Absolutely.
All right, come back. Join us here in a minute. We're going to talk to Scott Kepler. Your girl Paulina's here as well. It's the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. We are the Consumer Quarterback Show, your home of information and knowledge out there to empower you as consumers. We are a consumer advocacy-based program. We're trying to find folks out there who can help you. To that end, joining me now is Scott Kepler. He's the branch manager of the Mortgage Approval Group. Scott, you've been a regular contributor on the program, helping us out understanding mortgages as Brandon does, and I do not. So I'm here today to ask you, I know refi is going to be a topic here we're going to go over. I still need to know some basic stuff about mortgages. What else is going on market-wise that you've seen recently?
We've actually seen a dip in interest rates.
Really?
Which has been really nice. It hit a one-year low just this week.
No kidding.
Yeah, we're looking really good as far as rates are concerned.
See, someone who doesn't keep an eye on it like me just assumes from hearing everything out there that, well, you can't get near a mortgage this time. Interest rates are too high.
Well, that's not true at all.
Huh.
The time to get in is while they're low.
Right.
Obviously, that gives you a little bit more buying power and saves you some money in the long run as well.
Now, Scott, those folks out there like me who only think that they're going to wade in when it's perfect, we kind of get lost behind. We get left behind because if you're not ready to pull the trigger when the deal presents itself, you're out of luck. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's no, perfect time per se. There's the right time for you, I think, is what it comes down to.
So don't waste time, or don't wait. Get pre-qualified, get in there and find out what you can do.
Absolutely. You get pre-qualified ahead of time.
Right.
That way you know what you're going to be spending, how much it's going to cost you each month, and you have a good idea of what you should spend based on your budget. And then you go out armed with that information, knowing exactly what you're looking for. And that will help your real estate agent to help you find the perfect house.
No question. So it's a process, and you guys need resources when you go through this process. I was completely naive to it. I thought, well, I'll find a house and I'll go buy it. It took a year and a half. So my own experience being what it was, I realized find a professional, find folks out there who really know what they're doing, and they're going to help you cut a lot of time out of this and make it a lot easier, because it can be pretty difficult and get a little confusing if you don't know what you're doing.
Absolutely. And, we try to make it as simple as possible for everyone. We've got the ability to basically do the mortgage as a paperless mortgage for the most part, because we can, do an automated verification of employment and assets, and really all we need, paperwork-wise at that point, a lot of times it's just a copy of their ID.
And the other thing, because I was so woefully uneducated when it comes to the mortgage area, I didn't realize there was types of mortgages out there. So I was just, do I qualify? But you've got specific programs, for different people out there with different needs.
Absolutely, yeah. We try to cater to just about everyone. We've got certain loan programs available to us as a broker because we work with several different lenders. So gives us a lot of flexibility.
So when you say flexibility, again, because I'm so uneducated in this area, do you mean in terms of the style of payments? Would they vary over time? Would there be a heavier front-end payment? Would there be a different amount of payments? What are the differences?
Typically, it gives us more loan products like that. But when I talk about flexibility, I'm referring to underwriting guidelines, meaning that I can work with a broader range of clients,
okay,
whether it be due to credit or down payments. Sometimes I get somebody who wants to buy $1 million house, but they only want to put 10% down instead of the standard 20 or 30% down on that size loan.
So there are advantages to working with a broker.
Absolutely. There's
you
just
bring more options.
available, and we know where to look for it, and we do the, it's like hiring a personal shopper. You go in to buy a new suit, you want to talk to somebody who knows suits, and they're going to help you pick what's in style now, and help you weed through the sea of clothes that are on the racks there in front of you, and pick out the 2 or 3 that's going to work best for you based on what you're looking for.
Now, what can folks out there do to get ready before they come to Scott Kepler and say, okay, we want to pull the trigger? What do you need them to do to get their ducks in a row?
The main thing is have a good idea of what their budget's going to be if they're looking to purchase, what their budget's going to be on a monthly basis, and then what their budget's going to be as far as out-of-pocket expense for down payment and closing costs. And if you come to me, I can custom tailor that loan option based on what your budget is, because we talked about, in weeks past, it's not always a great idea to spend the most you can.
Right to the edge. I got you.
So let's talk about the budget and know those things, and have a good idea of how much you make, and most people do.
Now, when we were speaking with Kelly a little earlier, we talked about projecting, and we're trying to kind of project what the future is going to look like in terms of the production of a business that I may acquire.
Right.
My lifestyle is going to change as I go forward.
Right.
So how would that product, the mortgage product, keep in step with me as I change and grow?
Well, and that's all in part of learning about what the particular client's goals are, and that's what I was referring to, in talking about the budget now. But what are you planning on doing with the house? How long are you going to be there? Is this a first step? And is the next step to sell this house, take the equity and put it down on your next home? Or is the next step to convert this to a rental property and, buy another house? And at that point, how much money do you think you'll have to put down if you don't have access to the equity in this house?
Gotcha.
So it's I try to learn as much as I can about their long-term goals, because one, I want to be their mortgage person for life,
right?
But also because I want to help set them up to reach those goals.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can get them the right mortgage product, and I can tell them how to distribute the money accordingly, then I can help them achieve those goals, and
Certainly.
then they're going to be happy and tell everybody about me.
If you're just listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, we've got Scott Kepler. He's the branch manager of the Mortgage Approval Group. We've got Kelly Oliver from Business Loan Solutions. Your girl Pauline is coming up in just a minute, and Scott is just sharing with me some of the ideas about how to pick your mortgage and kind of when to do it, and some of the basics. Again, I'm kind of woefully uneducated in this field, but much like with Kelly, we were projecting the future, and Scott's going to build your mortgage, kind of anticipating what your needs are as you grow with your family, and whether you're hoping to keep this home for your life or sell it in 5 or 10 years, there's a strategy that needs to be developed. And that's why you need a personal relationship with a local lender like Scott Kepler here. Scott, we want to talk about refinance, because a lot of folks out there on the radio are always saying, take the equity out of your home and use it for this and use it for that.
Right.
Tell me about using the equity in your home.
Well, in some cases it makes sense. But it depends on what you're projecting for your future. For example, I had a client not long ago that reached out to me, and she was interested in paying off some of the debts that she had incurred, and she still had a student loan floating out there, and she was wanting to tap into her equity.
Right.
But the downside was she was about 25 years left in her loan, but she wanted to retire in 18 years. So the goal was to try to figure out how to best utilize the equity, because she wanted to keep the house for the long term,
right?
And distribute it according to the way to free up the most amount of money to help her for retirement. So we came up with a solution where it ended up saving her about $850 a month, taking a 30-year mortgage.
Right.
But then she distributed part of her monthly savings towards that mortgage, and part of the monthly savings towards an investment where she was buying some, low risk mutual funds and earning about 8%. And she ended up coming out to where at that 15-year mark, before she wanted to retire, she'd have all of her debts paid off. Her house would be paid off because she was contributing more money towards the principal every month. And then she took the rest and invested it. And I think the figures were like 200 and some odd thousand in the bank at that point, just from kind of restructuring how she's paying out her debts right now.
So as you listen to Scott, you can see you need a trusted advisor. What it comes down to is you need to have someone you can bounce the numbers off, that you can trust, that you can sit down with and formulate a strategy, because just making your payment every month is not a strategy. You need to have a long-term, look 5 years, look 10 years. What do you want your payment to be? Where do you want to be? And again, we talk about local, finding somebody local that you can trust, whether it's on the business side with Kelly or here with Scott. You need some knowledge that you can really trust. And that's why we're really proud of the show here. But find a local lender. Scott, you must deal with folks from all over the place.
I do.
Specifically here in the Bay Area. How far out do you go in the county? Are you everywhere?
I'm all over Florida.
Okay.
So I'm licensed to do business anywhere in Florida. And I do get clients, throughout the state, but about 90% of my business comes from here in the local area, because all of our business is done by, repeat and referral.
And so because you are in touch with folks and use the referral network, and you're a broker, so you're in touch with people all over the place looking for the best deal, Scott has the ability to shop around for you. What are some of the any stories? I know that you broke one down here for me to see, because I need the numbers right in front of me to understand. When someone comes to you and has an idea and you actually have to put the numbers on paper, how rewarding is that? Must be fun to say, hey, you're going to be able to do this, when they're not sure if they can do this or not.
Oh, absolutely. And I get that call a lot of times too. I've talked to my bank and I've talked to, the credit union, and nobody can help me. And that's the other advantage to come into a broker is
Right.
I have a lot more flexibility.
Both of you guys, it must be very rewarding. Kelly as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can see that.
Yeah.
All right, so you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, James DeGerome, in for Brandon Rhymes today. We're going to come back with some more stuff for you in terms of empowering you as consumers, as we always do here on the program. Listen to us every day, the Consumer Quarterback Show, 5 p.m. AM 1380, 10 a.m. on WeBeam TV, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Brandon is out today. You got your backup quarterback, James DeGerome, in today for Brandon. And we're going to speak with your girl, Paulina, right now about everything going on in the world of partying and marketing.
That's right. That's right.
So tell me, I know You've had events every weekend like you always do.
I do.
What's the latest? What's going on?
Well, the latest, as I was just planning this amazing annual party for a client of mine, he has it every single year and he grows bigger and bigger. I had this epiphany on why exactly events can help grow your business. And I got down to the nitty gritty of it. We're going to get real scientific today, folks.
Break it down.
I never even have ever been this passionate about anything in my life until I finally saw this formula. So let's talk about it.
A partying formula?
The party formula, but
right.
let's just think about when back in the day a cold call, and I know some businesses still do cold calls. It's the most uncomfortable situation, wouldn't you say?
It's tough sale.
There's no FaceTime, when you have that moment with somebody and you connect, it's just so easy. But on the phone, it's just stale, it's uncomfortable. So I was thinking about the different kinds of businesses that could really benefit from having some FaceTime, and here's a couple of examples. So this remodeling company has an annual epic Avery Ranch party.
Right.
He's actually been a partner on the show, so I just want to shout him out. This party has grown tremendously every single year, and even though it started off as Jason's birthday party, it grew into this huge gratitude appreciation party where all his clients were there, all his networking partners. This year we had over 250 people.
Wow.
And when you have that many people, you have to figure out the right entertainment and how to keep people excited about being there, because just food and booze isn't going to cut it anymore.
Yeah, 250 is a big group.
Exactly, yeah. So we decided to actually involve the My Hope Chest Foundation to raise a couple of bucks for a local woman that needed a surgery, which then made our theme boobies. We had to...
Tough to beat.
We had to make some money to make sure this woman could walk around as a confident woman again, because she just survived cancer, she got through it, and she can no longer feel like herself. So that really got all of us super excited on being able to raise that money. We had the foundation, they were making little boats that everybody created with hot glue and little decorations and a candle. And at a certain time, we launched them all in the pond that was on the ranch. And at that moment, everybody was looked around and we were like, oh my gosh, we're partying, yet we're doing something so good for somebody that is even local around here. That was
win.
Totally winning. Then I looked over, everybody's on the mechanical bull having a blast.
Hold on, the mechanical bull. So you just rent a mechanical bull.
You rent a mechanical
bull. And
bull.
Bring it right out to where you need it to be.
And they come out, they bring an operator to make sure everything is running safely. We had Fast Breaks Entertainment for the music and
DJ Ian Dowd.
Of course.
Right.
I work with him all the time. He is excellent. Right. And he had the crowd dancing, which was really important. We had some West Coast rentals doing our tents, dance floor. The following day, oh, by the way, everybody stayed in their RVs on property and or tents.
Wow.
So the next day we wake up and Jason, the most amazing host ever, is making breakfast for 80 people that had stayed afterwards.
Well, that's Woodstock.
It really was.
Holy cow.
Then all the guys went to shoot some guns, and it was just an amazing kind of event.
So you got on the mechanical bull or not? We skipped through that real fast.
I didn't get on it because my chiropractor would just kill me. So I didn't, but I watched a lot of people do it and they had a blast. But let's just talk about the kind of different parties that maybe other businesses could have, just to get some ideas out there for all the businesses owners that are listening. Sure. So, for example, I was thinking about a cosmetic surgeon. I did an event for him recently. And, when you think of cosmetic surgery, you think of more luxury services and things like that. But sometimes it's for many different reasons. And there's so many ways that doctors can take that opportunity and while they're having cocktail hour, give them a quick little education. Throw on a little PowerPoint, give them such an education, and then when they feel comfortable and have a champagne, they can talk to the doctor like a normal human being. They're not feeling intimidated or anything, and really ask the questions that they really want to know.
So less clinical. You know what I mean?
Clinical and much more of a happy, positive vision,
makes sense.
Where everybody's there for the same reason. And only the people that are interested are there. You're not going out networking and weeding out through and everything like that.
So avoiding the cold call scenario you talked about earlier.
Absolutely. And how about travel agents? I love throwing events with travel agents. So they could do a theme event saying, let's travel to this one specific country. And then, of course, Amicis could come in with the ethnic food to show you a little bit of what it would be like, to give you a small taste, maybe give you their cocktail. Every country has a cocktail they're famous for, let me tell you.
If they don't, we'll invent one.
If they don't, I'll help you. I'm here for that. But that's just another idea. Once you get to know your event planner and they get to know you, once they are starting to see great deals out there, you're going to always get a call from them. And it's just that keeping that community together. And it's always a great way to get people to come back to you. Same thing with trades. You usually only use your tradespeople when you need them, and that's it. So if they have that one annual party, you're always going to remember them and see, gosh, what a guy. He loves bringing people together. He's doing great things in the world. I would love to.
I agree. Paulina, tell me this. I'm a novice. I know you're the pro here. I think it's best to avoid the Christmas. Everyone has a Christmas party.
Yeah.
You want to stand out, do something another time of the year for your event. Like Jason, you said it was his birthday was the basis for the date.
Yep.
But it's nice to have an off schedule. You know, it makes it seem more different than everyone else.
Absolutely. People around Christmas get stressed out because they know they're going to have so many parties. And it's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it's like, when does it end? And even for businesses that have their own holiday party, why don't you wait till January when everything's calm and cool and you actually have something to look forward to again? Because if it all happens in one time of the year, it just gets too exhausting. But then other things I was also thinking about is, of course, holiday parties, some people are going to do it. They have to. And if you're the kind of business that wants to join in with your clients and your employees, like when those really close relationships are super important, like I would say maybe investment companies.
Okay.
People with those clients are very close with their relationships. So that could be a good one where you guys all can come in on a party together.
Sure.
Book signings, product launches. I love helping businesses plan those kind of events because we can make sure to incorporate some technology into the event, collect all the data, keep people that are interested in your loop.
Well, that's a critical piece of it that you oftentimes don't consider. That handshake and that conversation, that first meeting is very important. But the ability to contact that person again, to have their information so that you can start a plan to really develop a business plan with that. That's the key to turning it into business.
Absolutely. Imagine if like an attorney that's like in all the commercials that people think they're so important that you don't even know. You just know them from TV. But if they had like one big event where you could possibly shake his hand and you're like, oh wow, what a great guy, I actually wouldn't mind sending my family to him. It would just open up a whole new world of business for each other.
So when it comes to marketing, you've got a lot of, I know you did the speed networking thing, which is new to me. Again, I'm not a great network, but I thought what a cool idea, because a lot of times in the networking world, I've got a person I've made my contact, I feel good about, but I can't get onto the, I feel awkward breaking away. I would just shook hands, I just exchanged cards, I'm listening to you, but I really want to meet 10 other people real fast, but I can't get out of there. You just blow the horn and say move.
Exactly. People love, unconsciously, we all love to be told what to do at these kinds of things because we all just stick to who we know.
Yeah.
And then that's it. You get nothing done, and then you're just kind of tipsy for the night, which is, of course, not a bad thing. But why don't we get some business done? That's what we're all out here really doing. And it's not about getting famous and popular. It's about, making sure we're all getting business done.
Yeah.
And in that experience, let's talk about what actually happens, right? We share food. Breaking bread together is like the oldest way in history to get to know each other.
I know. Going back to my thing with the coaching thing, the team meals, that was always a big deal. That was when we were going to do some team building.
Yeah. I mean, when is food not important at an event?
It is. First, every sales team comes in, every time there's any food anywhere, you'll see everyone just come together.
Yeah. You're the office
nowhere.
hero immediately. Yeah. And then you get to know each other through that experience, right? Maybe you always appear super perfect on social media or something, and gosh, God forbid you spill a little food or something. There's that little common bond. Hi, what's up? It's okay. And then you talk about what the possibilities are of doing business or educate them and what it is exactly that you're doing or looking for. And when you get that little bit of that relationship, it's so much easier to follow up because you're like, oh gosh, I know they're so busy, but like, no, we had a connection. They definitely want me to call. This is going to be the best
That's
choice.
true also. That idea that I'm pestering them.
Right.
It feels much better if you have a friendship started or some kind of a bond that you can share.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people do that to me right away because they see that I'm in Brooksville one day, I'm in Tampa the next, and I'm all over the place. But if you get to meet me and know me for a little bit, you're like, oh, I know that she's going to call me back. It's all good.
She's busy, folks.
I'm busy, but at the same time, I'm really passionate about this, and I think it's so much easier to do this. And, you also get to enjoy what you're doing. You work so hard.
And what I've realized is all these events are opportunities for creation of social content.
Yeah.
So it's come down to how to package these little events and how to make things, a social event so that people can see, check in on you. You build a little package to it. It's much like being your own reporter.
It really is. And I think promoting events is also really important. Like I have a little formula I do 6 to 8 weeks out is how much like before the event we start to promote. How are we going to do it? Is it going to be through Eventbrite, Facebook, Instagram? We get really specific on who the target audience is and make sure we get the right people in the door.
So there's a formula.
There's always a formula.
And it's
such
different.
a nerd.
It's actually different with different social medias work different. I'm learning a little bit
For
more.
sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
So Facebook versus Instagram versus Snapchat or whatever it is, there's a different approach.
Versus all of that. And then there's also like how are you going to promote it? Are you going to promote it as the company, or are you going to promote it as your girl Paulina throwing this awesome event for this company? Because then there's two ways of doing that too.
Well, you need your girl Paulina.
I mean, honestly, I had 2 amazing assistants this weekend, and I got to do my Your Girl Paulina thing all around, and it was amazing. I met so many great people, and because I really took it seriously, I booked another engagement party for Captain Will Smith and his book signing. What's up?
All right, so folks out there that want to have an event, how do they get in touch with your girl Paulina?
You just simply hit me up on Your Girl Paulina on Facebook or Instagram, and my direct lines are all over there. You can reach out to me.
All
Messenger,
right, Tampa
text.
Bay, you've heard it. If you're planning an event, that's who you need to call. Your girl Paulina will help you set you up. Okay, Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll be back here in just a minute. We're going to tell you something good like Brandon always does with our Feel Good segment, and we're going to wrap up the show. ConsumerQB.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Welcome back. This is the Consumer Quarterback Show with your host, Brandon Rhymes. Brandon is out today. You got your backup quarterback, James DeGerome, sitting in the chair for him. One of the best things about the show that Brandon does is the committing a random act of kindness, I should say. That concept behind that, the whole idea, is part of the reason we started this show. You know, as a consumer advocacy program, we want to provide information that empowers the consumers, but we also want to tell you about things out there that are going on in the world that aren't so negative. You know, everything's divisive, it seems like today. So to that end, we've got a story here about a man who overhears a stressed mom's conversation and buys new tires for her. So this took place out in California. A complete stranger bought a young mother 4 new tires for her truck after overhearing her conversation with the auto shop staff about not being able to afford the $1,400 expense. The act of kindness was witnessed by customers and staff at America's Tire in California. A young lady named Alex with a little girl came in for a flat tire repair. Sergio Rodriguez explained in his Facebook post, he come to find out these tires on her Silverado were bald and in need of replacement. Rodriguez said Alex was stressed because she could not afford the tires, but without skipping a beat, a 70-year-old man named Phil said he would purchase the tires for her. The entire store was shocked, Rodriguez said. Alex said thank you about 100 times. Phil was Mr. Smooth and very humble about it. With a big heart, this man blessed this young lady and simply asked that she pay it forward. I absolutely love this story, he said. He dropped almost $1,500, probably saved this girl's life and her kids. So Alex, who later said Phil's unexpected act of kindness left her speechless, said she plans on paying it forward. And really, that's the key to the whole thing. I mean, that's why Brandon started the show. That's what we talk about, the random act of kindness. The whole idea that you can do something for somebody else and not expect something to come back and just let it happen organically. I mean, the whole idea of that, the goodness that is in people, it's there. You just got to find it and realize that it's in everyone. If you let it, everyone's a little good and a little bad, I think. You just got to find the good side, right? All right, so we come back. Before we got finished, Paulina had some pictures that folks on the TV side want to see some of the photos that you took.
Sure, yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, let's see. We have a couple from the last recent events that we did. And I just wanted to show you what our presentation looks like. You know, everything is always very bright and beautiful, and the presentation, you know, we cut out every little bird and every little thing. Those are crab cakes with aioli sauce, some of my favorites. And, you know, of course, our pasta bar, which is always awesome. And this is a new venue, the JBL Center in Tampa, and a garden venue wedding we did recently. But if you're getting hungry right now, I totally understand. And the best part is, you guys, it's always my favorite thing to talk about. Amici's offers a monthly tasting if you are planning an event or a wedding. The next one is coming up on March 14th. So all you have to do is call our office and RSVP, bring the bride tribe or whoever you need to come and taste the stuff with. You'll get a really good variety of our hors d'oeuvres, a lot of the action stations, the carved meats, the sauce department, which is one of my favorites. So
when you say that they come out for, this is specific to the menu that they're going to have tailored to their event, or just options that may fit the menu?
What we do is we show you a really large variety of who we are. And then if there's something really specific you want, you're invited to a personal tasting where we'll make something very specific to what you're looking for. But if you've never tried us before, then this is a really good opportunity to get the idea, where you also get to meet our chefs who can talk really custom or, you know, something right off the menu.
Okay. So that's Amici's?
Amici's Catered Cuisine, coming up March 14th in their Old Mart tasting room. They actually have a specific tasting room. It's super cute. It almost feels like you're the pre to your wedding, I always say, because there's lighting, draping, cocktails, DJs, everything. But that's just how we do.
What's their site?
www.amiciscatering.com. All
right. So amiciscatering.com for all those events, as Paulina was telling you about. It's a great way to build some team building exercises for your business.
It's a great way to build your team, to grow your business, and have delicious food while you're doing it, because life is short. You might as well enjoy the heck out of it.
I agree. All right, so guys, we're going to do this thing Brandon does, the lightning round, where we go around and get some final thoughts from everybody about what it is, the points they want to drive home that feel like is important for our audience to hear today. Kelly, we started with you, and we talked about businesses and how to find a business and how to kind of feel what you can do in this market. Give us some ideas, or what's the best summary for that kind of conversation that we had today?
So the in summary is really just start asking questions.
Okay.
You know, pick up the phone, make a phone call, ask all the questions that you have that are just swirling in your head. Like, write them all down, get in front of people, ask those questions, and ask more than one person.
Right.
Because you'll get different people's points of view. I remember when I moved to the Tampa Bay area, I wanted to know where everything was. Where was the hot spots? What was going on? What was happening? Where was, so that I can make a good choice and a family decision about where I wanted to live, work, and play. Well, that's what everyone who will want to do the same thing. Come in, ask all the questions to all the people that you can. the grocery store clerk, the restaurateurs, the business owners that are here, what's working for them, what's not, and then really get a feel for what you want to create the happiest life that you have, not just own a business. Right?
And the idea of finding the perfect location spot for you, and then kind of forecasting this is how everything will move forward.
Yep.
And kind of build your whole life here.
Yeah, exactly. This is the place where you live, work, and play. Mm-hmm. And the working just means you're owning your own business. And we all want everyone's business here in the Tampa Bay area to thrive and reach out and make networks of people, because then you're going to bring other people to the area as well. Because we know it's a cluster, right? As you move in, your family comes with you. They come to visit, and then they never leave your couch. They stay with you.
Right.
And then we want that for you and your business, right? We want that to happen so that you're successful. So then you're calling Scott, and then you're getting a new home loan, and you're growing roots, and you're making wonderful, wonderful memories here in Tampa Bay.
So reach out, Kelly Oliver, Business Loan Solutions. It's a strategic plan that we're going to build that's kind of going to get you moved into the market and kind of forecast how you're going to grow and develop as a Tampa Bay native. And well, you'll soon be, I guess, 30 years or so. What does it take? 35?
I have a half-life thing. Like I have a half-life rule. So
once you're more than halfway here.
Yeah. Once you've been here longer than any place else you've ever been, you're a native.
I gotcha. All right, Scott, what in summary, some of the things that you helped me with today, understanding, the different types of loans and when to qualify and how to qualify. Sum it up for me a little bit.
Certainly. If you're interested in purchasing a home, or you own a home and you think a refinance might be a good option to help you accomplish your long-term goals a little bit better, then reach out to me. You can find me at scottkepler.com or mortgageapprovalgroup.com.
All right.
Or you can call my office direct at 813-444-8537.
It's not as simple as just looking at the numbers, too. Scott's going to find the actual loan type that fits you best.
Absolutely. Yeah, the big thing is learning more about what they want to accomplish in the long term as far as their finances are concerned.
And we talked about Kelly developing a plan. Maybe you want to be in the house 5 years, 10 years, maybe it's your last stop. It
just depends on what it depends on what the goal is. And that way I can help give you, sound advice that's going to be custom tailored toward your particular goals and your situation.
Now, home ownership, we talked about before, a critical step in building wealth. Brandon talks about it all the time, real estate being this ability to change lives because of the equity side. I just want you to caution, because so many people out there are encouraging you to refinance and take advantage of the equity you have in your home. It's not something you do casually. You've got to, before you break into that, it has to be something worthy of that, right?
You have to have a plan.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people do it, to clean up credit card debt and that kind of thing. And as long as you have a plan and you're disciplined after the fact, then it's going to work out. If you don't have a plan, you go back to your old ways of, spending all your money on credit cards, and you don't ever utilize that savings
it's not free money.
Gaining. Right.
It's equity that you've built in your home, but it's not just free money that you can just grab for anything.
The end of that road comes real soon.
And I could add 2 cents. Can I add 2 cents to that? So you want to refinance when you can build wealth, right? You're not refinancing to pay off your bills to clean up some sins of the past, right? If you're going to refinance, you want to refinance to build wealth. So you're either going to reinvest in more property, you're going to reinvest in something that's going to grow your money. That's the time that you want to do the refi on any properties that you have.
Understood. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Paulina, what are some of the things that we can look forward to with you coming up?
Well, I'm thinking, with me telling you how events can help grow your business, you don't have to refinance for that or anything. But, just depending on what business you are, you maybe have never thought about having events. So just reach out to me, and maybe we could think of some outside-the-box ways that we could do that. Because you don't always have to have a humongous 250-person party. Right. It could be something small at your office that you have maybe once or twice a year. And you can ask even your referral partners to be very specific about who you'd like to bring to this event.
It's not as simple as just throwing a party and having people come eat and drink. You can cross over and have a useful part of the event, like you talk about, crossing work and partying a little bit, or having an event where you get together and maybe you're harvesting data or getting to know everyone in the market. There's a lot of businesses that can benefit from a party or a social event on the business side, not just in terms of networking socially.
Absolutely, and it beats that cold call. It's uncomfortable.
Now, how do you guys have a way of making people getting their social tags and everything so that you can then network afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to print out a bunch of signs with hashtags or let them know to, check into the location of wherever we are. Sometimes if we're trying to promote a certain venue, we'll definitely have that all around. And then, after the event, you can see all these different people that took pictures at your place and things like that.
That's the key to the social media is the cross-pollination. I posted, you posted, pretty soon it's everywhere.
For sure. And then
All right,
people are asking questions.
Fans of the Consumer Quarterback Show, I hope you were tolerant of me as the backup today. I was sitting in for Brandon. We had another great show with some knowledge and some great folks here sharing their stories with you. We want you to consider committing a random act of kindness. As I said earlier, that's really the key to the whole thing and the reason Brandon started the whole show. To me, it's the best thing we can do to avoid the divisive political climate out there. Do something good for somebody else. Let's not talk about politics. Let's talk about helping each other. Consumer Quarterback Show. Join us again, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.